for June 8th, 2022. Our first agenda item is open forum. Notice from the commission.
My favorite topic got dropped off the discussion and action items again. Cypress, sycamore plantings. The rocks are still there. They look really good,
The rocks look good.
but they're not
They're
protecting
growing.
any plants.
No plants.
Nice.
Margaret?
Yeah, so at Monday's Agricultural Commission meeting, there are a lot of people who are wanting to join the Westford Community Apiary because they've had problems with bears at their houses. So they want to transfer their hives to the apiary, and so there were some questions about, so they may be coming to the commission to see, can they have more hives than was originally proposed? The other question that came up is, does it make sense to start an apiary someplace else in Westford? And one of their thoughts was up at Hills Orchard. And the caveat that I had is if people are having problems with the hives attracting bear, I don't know if we want that to be up at Hills Orchard.
That's why I stopped keeping my
Yeah,
bees.
well, and Peter Cox did as well.
Yeah.
So,
4 bear attacks in 1 year.
yeah,
From April to September, 4 times, with electric fence, motion sensing lights, and put it up right near the house, which smells like dog.
Is that right?
Didn't keep them away.
Didn't
Yeah.
keep.
It just went right through the fence, destroyed the hives.
so this is kind of long-term planning, but it's kind of like, we need to think about issues like, does it attract bears, in terms of deciding where would be good locations if we want to have additional apiaries, so that's just out there.
Yeah, well, plus you'd have to get Dave's
Yes, well,
permission also.
yeah,
since he-
Dave's permission, but also ours because
Right.
we're the custodians of the land.
I would think you wouldn't want to put them all in one place.
Not anywhere.
Well, they were thinking it
Don't
would
pick
be,
your own areas.
they were thinking it would be great to have them near the fruit trees.
Yeah.
Isn't that what,
Oh,
don't,
right, and then you
aren't there
can
some
have
pick your own areas though?
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't want them near that,
Oh, the hives?
right?
Yep, that's true.
Right.
So, anyway, so just, for future conversations.
Something to percolate on.
Okay, great. Thank you, Margaret. Noel?
Did anything come of the is it Enmore?
Hemlock?
Hemlock?
Hemlock. Well, there were 2 things. That hemlock,
I'm sending a letter. I haven't gotten it out yet,
okay.
but just notifying the neighbors that, not to be, allow their kids to hack at the trees. That is, in direct violation of the rules and regs for the use of town of Westford conservation lands, as that is on the commission's agenda later this evening.
And the other thing was that Elm Road, that shed that we had asked to be
Yep,
moved.
I haven't
is
followed up on that
It
yet.
has not been moved yet.
Anything for open forum from the audience? Oh, I'm sorry.
I got a couple.
couple.
Annual town meeting is this Saturday, June 11th, starting at 9 a.m. at Westford Academy Field. It is, there is a rain date for Sunday, June 12th, if, in the event of inclement weather. I will have an enforcement order for the commission to ratify at their next meeting regarding work prior to satisfactorily completing special conditions for the order of conditions that was issued for the single-family structure at 59 Hildreth Street. The work no work is to be done until the erosion controls has been inspected and the special conditions have been complied with. But would the commission like for the applicant to appear at the commission's next meeting to briefly explain how this enforcement order came about? If not, we can just do the enforcement order and have the commission ratify it and be updated.
What would you guys like to do?
Um,
It won't be.
Yeah, I think it's a good practice, especially if it's an experienced builder that says, these orders, we expect you to have read them and complied with them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just come explain to us why you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Okay, everybody agree? Eric?
Yes.
Eric, you good with that?
I'm here. I'm good with that.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Thank you. And also, just as a point of order, with Eric being remote, all votes will be done by roll call. And last but certainly not least, this afternoon I met with Eagle Scout candidate Jack Durkin, who was rehabbing the footbridges out on the Cider Mill Trail between Stony Brook Road and Lowell Road. I will have photos for the commission's next meeting, but I highly encourage everybody to go out and check it out. They are sturdy and should last another, couple generations of scouts before they need to be redone. But he did a great job, and I signed off on his project
Oh,
workbook.
that's good.
And wear bug spray.
Yes, wear bug spray. It's quite mosquito-y out.
Yeah.
That it?
That's it.
Anything from the audience in open forum? John?
John Cunningham, 4 Butternut Road. I just wanted to say something about Peter Mahler tonight. I understand this is your last evening, or last meeting with the Conservation Commission.
Yep.
After 22 years of fun, traveling and all that. But as a citizen and as a former member of this commission, I would like to thank you for your steadfast leadership on this commission and for your contributions to this community and the conservation area. You've done a superb job, you're a superb leader, and you've made contributions that we probably won't be able to measure. So I wanted to thank you personally for that.
Thank you, John.
Been hundreds, if not thousands of acres added probably in the 20-plus years, right?
Oh, the bulk of it.
True.
Well, that doesn't count the Sierras, so.
No.
Yeah. It's been fun, though. It's been a great time. Okay, so can we move on to our 7:05, which is a continuation of a public hearing and issue order of conditions for Greystone Pond, 3341666. So there's only 4 of us that can vote on this.
All right.
Jim?
When the draft came out, I read through it, and I felt that there was a need to add to condition number 24. I'd
Okay.
provided Matt the recommended text in advance, but the purpose of 24 is that the order of conditions isn't necessarily final. And that I wanted specifically to add something that indicated that the applicant has submitted the plan, which is the October 7th, 21 Rev 1 plan, to the Office of Dam Safety for a review, which is currently underway, and that any comments received from the Office of Dam Safety may require an update to the order of conditions. So words to that effect are what I gave
Instead
Matt.
of final.
Would I
vote.
be able to put that as a finding instead of
Sure.
the condition?
My
Just,
suggestion was just to add it to 24, but you could put it in the findings, yep.
Okay.
And we need the applicant to fill in the date that they actually submitted the plan to the Office of Dam Safety. They
Yep,
said-
I'll-
They said they did, I don't know when.
Okay, you good on this then? You're all good? Eric, you good on this?
I am good with it.
Okay.
I move to approve the order of conditions as amended.
So, seconded,
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Peter? Yes.
Okay, on then.
You want to
Three
abstain?
abstentions.
I need 3
Abstain,
abstentions.
yeah.
Thank you.
Gotta close the public hearing.
Couldn't hear you there, Eric.
Motion
Don't we
to,
have to close the public hearing?
Motion to do that.
all in favor? Eric?
You have a second?
Yes.
Second?
He did, I thought you
Oh.
said.
Either way, pick it either.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Peter, yes?
Abstain.
We can vote to
Abstain.
close the public hearing.
Yeah, you
now.
can close it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can vote to
Yes.
close.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Yes.
Margaret? And yes, okay, we're good, okay. That's put to bed after all these years.
Here's the signature page, and everybody can sign as the administrative duty of.
So before you hand that over to the applicant, they gotta fill in the date when they gave it to the Office of Dam
Yeah,
Safety.
I'll reach out to them in the morning and get the, I know they're,
Put one hand out and hold the order. It's been 7 years, something like that.
it's only 5.5, 5.5.
5 years, okay, 5.5 years.
Just felt like 7.
Yeah, it has.
It does.
Okay, we got a few minutes. How about these requests for certificate of compliance? Can we approve these?
Yes, so The first, it was the bylaw filing number 40. It was for the improvements up at the MIT Lincoln Lab Haystack Observatory. This was back middle of 2019. I was
Electronic equipment room or something they were at?
Yeah, there was it was an equipment room. There were some cooling condensers, a condenser field, but they also had a stormwater detention basin. And so I was able to, when meeting to look regarding the RDA, was able to take a look at the work done for that project, and everything looked good. The detention basin is installed. Ground cover is sufficient. It's been about 2 years. And I recommend the commission issue the certificate of compliance for Westford bylaw filing number 40.
Can I have a motion for that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Peter, yes. Okay, and how about 67 Russell's Way?
That was an application that came back before the commission last fall, maybe last summer, last fall, sometime in that time frame, and was the applicant wanted to grade out a portion of its backyard and take down a couple trees. I met with the property owner the end of last week. Everything looks stable. He was taking out the erosion controls at that time, and I think everything looked to be in good order, and recommend the commission issue the certificate of compliance for file number 3341765.
Motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
And Margaret?
Yes.
Peter, yes.
Amending the rules and regs.
You want to do that?
Yeah, me too.
Next discussion item is amending the rules and regs for the use of town of Westford conservation lands.
So this was brought to my attention by town council, where the commission wanted to enforce the no grilling being allowed on the conservation commission properties, specifically Stony Brook Conservation Area, where now that the weather is nice, people are going there and grilling, and upon town council's advice, recommend specifically adding that in so the police department or any enforcement can be done in accordance with the adopted rules and regulations.
What's the exact wording again?
So the exact wording is adding it's bullet point number 11, no grilling is allowed without approval of the Conservation Commission.
Great.
And there were a couple other minor edits, updating the email address from Bill Turner's to conservation at Westford MA, be a little more timely. And I think that was it. Maybe there was a couple commas here or there.
Okay. Any questions from the commission?
No.
Any questions from the audience on this change to our rules and regulations? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to accept these changes to the rules and regulations?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Great.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to our 7:15 PM, which is a public hearing for MIT Lincoln Laboratory, 7983 Millstone Road.
Under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Westford's non-zoning wetlands bylaw, Chapter 171, the Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, at 7:15 PM in Meeting Room 201 at Town Hall, 55 Main Street, to consider the request for determination of applicability application of MIT Lincoln Laboratory for the demolition of a 10 by 12 foot shed within 100 feet of the fire pond at 79 through 83 Millstone Hill Road.
Welcome.
Good evening.
Good name.
Hi.
For the record, your name?
For the record,
record, I'm Alyssa Jacobs with Epsilon Associates with the Environmental Consultants for MIT.
Jeff Dominic, I'm the MIT Lincoln Laboratory Field Site Manager at Millstone Hill.
Okay.
So we're here for a very a straightforward request. There is a shed in a state of disrepair on the edge of Fire Pond at the MIT Haystack Observatory. And the MIT is seeking to demolish the shed, actually, within the 100-foot buffer zone. So there'll be no permanent impacts to the buffer zone or to the resource areas. All staging will take place in the upland area that's already paved right in front of the shed. Appropriate perimeter controls will be installed during the demolition process, and it's anticipated to be a very short duration process.
What was the shed used for?
I can answer that if you'd like. So the shed was built in approximately maybe early 70s. There used to be a laser attached to the Fire Pond telescope, and before they put in a real robust cooling system, they were using water from the pond to cool the laser. And so the shed housed the pumping equipment to move that water in and out. That didn't last very long because water is not the greatest coolant for a laser that produces thousands of degrees of heat. So they put in a glycol building next to it and converted to that, and abandoned the shed in place. And it's been sitting there giving way to the elements ever since.
Okay.
No doubt.
Questions from the commission on this?
No.
Nothing? Questions from the audience on this application? Okay, seeing none, are there any conditions we have to put in here, or are they good?
No, they've proposed erosion controls, down gradient of the shed, and, no,
Okay,
no question.
so kind of a motion to approve this as a conditional negative.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Eric,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
and Peter, yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you very much.
All in favor, Eric,
Yes.
Marilyn,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Noel,
Yes.
Ian,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
and Peter, yes. Okay, 7:20. Okay, moving on. Okay, we're moving on to our 7:20, which is a public hearing for Shields, 51 Forest Road. This is an IDA.
Under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Westford's non-zoning wetlands bylaw, Chapter 171, the Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, at 7:20 p.m. in Meeting Room 201 at Town Hall, 55 Main Street, to consider the request for determination of applicability application of Patrick Shields for the construction of a 10 by 36-foot addition to a single-family home, a portion being located within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands at 51 Forest Road.
Good evening, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, my name is Ian Ainsley from Mazda Brem. I am the engineer working for Mr. Patrick Shields, who's here with me tonight, the applicant and landowner. This is a request to put an addition on an existing single-family house. I'm going to kind of describe the property a little bit. So this is 51 Forest Road. Here's Forest Road here to the south. These areas over here are the environmental wetlands, etc. There is a vernal pool in the front corner here, as well as another vernal pool off the property in the back. The state mapping actually shows a vernal pool somewhere in this area, but we're pretty sure it's just they missed, basically. That's a certified vernal pool. We're pretty sure that they meant to certify this one up here. The vernal pool and wetland delineation was done by LEC Environmental, Dan Wells. It should be in the RDA package, the methodology that they use for that. This is bordering vegetated wetland here, as well as back here. This right here is an intermittent stream that connects the two. I think you said it's dry the vast majority of the time.
Yeah, never seen actual water.
It is intermittent, but it does have bank, so it does have a 100-foot buffer. So the 100-foot buffer is shown here. The addition is shown here, a portion of which is inside the 100-foot buffer. The existing house, the closest point is about 70 feet away. The closest point of the addition would be about 71 feet away, so it's actually further than the existing house. There's going to be nothing closer than what's there now. We do show a line of filter sock and silt fence erosion control on the plan, just outside the limit of work. And I should mention that the addition is outside the 55-foot no-build that Westford has for existing man-made areas. I think that's the gist.
Jim's got his hand.
Yep.
A couple of questions. On the plan, up by where it has the existing play area off to the north.
Yep.
Underneath there's a dotted area that says existing ponding.
Yeah,
What
so
does that mean? And
when it rains, and this is outside the buffer, but there is some stormwater that kind of accumulates there. It's kind of a low point depression.
and then there's another one right directly under the proposed drive under garage addition.
Yeah, so right now the driveway ponds a little bit. So we just wanted to put it all on one plan just for the ease of the builders who are going to do this work.
And how
but-
did LEC, that's your delineator, how did they categorize those wet areas?
They're not permanent wet areas, and they're certainly not wetland. It's upland area. It doesn't have soils or it's not hybrid
didn't have
soils.
plants or
It's not
soils.
vegetation or anything like
Okay.
that. This one's literally a play area, like I would say a mulch or a
Yeah.
wood chip, area with a swing set on it. And this one is paved driveway, so it's certainly not a wetland area.
Right. And then I have a question for Matt. How do we verify that the certified vernal pool, I saw the same thing that Ian saw on the state's overlay. They had a certified vernal pool shown, where you had pointed out.
Yep.
It splits the difference between the two.
Yeah. Pardon me?
It splits the difference between the two vernal pools that were
Well, there's one that's listed as potential.
Yeah,
which
there's
is
a
over near-
potential, I believe.
It's
which
over,
I'm-
no, potential's over closer to Forest Road, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's the certified one, which is where yes, right around in there.
I mean,
That's the one I'd be concerned with. Is there any way we can prove that it's, in fact, where Ian is saying, way over off the property?
I know there was an order that was issued for the construction of the house originally. And at that time, I imagined it would have been, if it was certified, if it was potential. I can certainly look into getting clarification and,
Because if it is off the property, no problem at all, but if it's where the overlay shows it is, we're too close.
right, and I can certainly check, I can reach out to Natural Heritage and in theory, they should have, the documentation
Yep.
for that being, for when it was certified. So that can be, they should have
Could attach it.
some field notes as to what it is, and I can certainly look into that, but they have, the buffers to all of them are being, or all the wetland resources, in the field, there didn't appear to be,
A wetland area there.
in that, no, it was certainly upland, I forget, it was
Yeah,
Virginia,
this is a
Virginia
very
creeper and.
well-defined ponded area in the front.
Yeah.
There's no standing water.
I'm not
here.
really
There was-
concerned with that one either,
Yeah.
because it's far enough away.
Yeah,
But
we
the
were
one-
out, last Friday, me, Matt, and Dan Wells from LEC, looking at all this, and this is, a time of high water, this time of year, and there was no ponding or anything over here that you would think you would see in the springtime.
Most of eastern Mass is in a mild drought right now.
It's true, it's true.
So not a lot of high water. Okay,
But the vernal pool is holding water right now.
okay.
Yeah.
And it's off the property.
It's on the property line right there. The one by the front.
All right, that one I'm not concerned about because that's far enough away. It's the one that is the certified vernal pool that the overlay shows as being very close to the new addition.
Right,
That's the one.
I think that's from my interpretation, where that was located
It's a mistake.
isn't, that's
what Ian thought too.
misrepresented on
On the overlay.
on the
And
GIS.
That's what
Just gonna
LEC,
check.
I think, inferred in their report as well.
Okay,
So-
you're gonna check that?
Yeah, but I can
Okay.
certainly check
All right,
with
great.
the,
That's the only
Apple
question, those are the
Heritage.
questions I had.
Fine?
So what's gonna be the foundation for the addition?
I believe it's a full foundation.
Okay, so, when it's being dug to put the foundation in, you've got you've got access to be able to remove, well, is the soil that's removed to install the foundation gonna be taken off-site or used elsewhere?
I imagine it would be taken off-site, because I don't think we're really filling in anything.
Okay, and so the access for the trucks, it's all gonna be within the erosion control?
Yes, yeah, so they have no reason to go back here. They'll be coming in on the existing driveway, which is paved.
Okay.
So.
So the, other than where they have to go to actually pick it up, they're gonna be outside the buffer?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
and I just had a point of clarification. The existing shed that is very close to the wetland resource area is a, four open sides with a roof wood shed. Not, you know,
Like a
there's
cover.
nothing being,
Like a cover.
there's firewood being stored in it, nothing,
Okay.
you know, nothing else, but that was something that caught my attention.
Questions from the audience on this application? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to approve this as a conditional negative?
Second?
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes?
And Peter, yes. Motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Okay, thank you. You're good.
Everybody
Thank you.
leaves.
What?
You wanna tell them the-
Yeah. Peter, may I say something?
Yeah.
Nothing to do, but you're welcome to say. You'll notice there are some refreshments on the right, and that's to honor Peter. We always have a mini party. It's also open to the audience, so if you'd like to help yourself for a drink or anything at any time, just please feel
Cookies,
free.
brownies, healthy strawberries dipped in healthy chocolate,
Yeah,
that kind of
just
stuff.
help yourself, okay?
Heart healthy.
Take something
Or
on
help
your way, take something on your way out.
Even the other.
Okay, we're moving on to our 725, which is a public hearing for the Cullis, 120 Main Street. I don't have a number. Do you have a number? on
No,
this yet?
not
No
yet.
number. That's not good.
Under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Westford's non-zoning wetlands bylaw, Chapter 171, the Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, at 7:25 p.m. in Meeting Room 201 at Town Hall, 55 Main Street, to consider the notice of intent application of Peter DeCarlos for the removal of a driveway, shed, and debris, and renaturalization of the area within 100 feet of bordering vegetative wetlands and 200 feet of a perennial stream, removal of portions of a driveway and renaturalization of the area within 200 feet of a perennial stream, and grading associated with construction of a single-family dwelling, in-ground swimming pool, patio, and detached cabana within 200 feet of a perennial stream at 120 Main Street.
Good evening. Matt Stengel from Lentech Consultants, representing the owner and applicant, Peter DeCarolis. So the property is called Lot 2, is one of the 6 lots that were created in 2019 at the Hicks Farm on Main Street. This lot lies west of where the houses and the commercial buildings were in the center of that lot. The lot itself is mostly covered with sort of maintained lawn areas. I know the last time I was out there, the grass was pretty long, but it's mostly lawn areas, and there is the majority of a sand horse riding ring that sits in the center of the property. At the northeast corner of the lot, there is a wooded area. Resource areas at the property include bordering vegetated wetlands along the northern property line, which the 100-foot wetland buffer extends south down onto our lot. And then north of the wetlands is a perennial stream with the riverfront area extending about 200 feet down into our property. The lot is being developed to include a construction of a 5-bedroom, single-family dwelling, with a in-ground swimming pool and a patio and detached cabana structure. All of those permanent improvements are located outside of the riverfront area and the wetland buffers. The work within the resource areas is limited to the removal of the paved driveway that is just inside the 200, just inside the riverfront area that's associated with the parking area that is adjacent to a commercial or barn structure on the lot to the east. And then also the removal of a gravel driveway and shed that is located within the tree line at the northeast corner of the property. The gravel area, we are just proposing to remove the gravel drive surface, remove the shed, clean up any debris that is back there, and just allow that area to naturalize, like similar to the woodlands that are adjacent. And then the paved driveway that is just south of the tree line, we would just be removing that pavement and planting grass so that it can be similar to the adjacent lawn areas. We have erosion control down gradient of both of these areas. One just they already have some of the erosion controls out at the site, and they have one installed along the tree line here, but we're also proposing additional silt fence and straw wattles down gradient of the gravel driveway. That's pretty much the extent of it, so if you have any questions.
Jim?
2 questions.
Yes.
That shed that you're removing on the northern corner of the property,
Yes.
it's on the property line.
Yes, it is.
Whose shed is it?
It was Hicks, but he
Right,
owns
right,
it.
no, not was, who is it now, though?
It's the same applicant,
Yeah,
owns all 3 lots.
The owner owns
Both?
lots 1, 2,
Great.
and 3.
Okay, good. And then, the type of pool, is it gonna have removable filters or backwash? And does the backwash, if there's backwash, where's it go?
I do not know if there is backwash, but if there is, we would not have it be directed towards the resource areas.
Okay, I know you're outside the 200 outer riparian and all that, but if there is backwash,
It would go
into a dry
south.
well of some sort.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we do have a dry well shown on the plan
For the
that is-
roof drains.
for the roof drains.
Right.
Yeah, and we could certainly, if that's the type of pool they were going to install, could certainly have another dry well
Okay.
just for that.
Alright.
That I don't think that would be an issue.
So the big garage is all on the other lot, huh?
Yes, it is.
Yes, okay. Margaret?
Yes.
Now the plan is to plant grass where the driveway is being removed. Is that to be, is the thought for that to be maintained lawn or just a more naturalized surface, a more naturalized area that's mowed maybe once or twice a year to keep out, to keep it as grass as opposed to letting the woodlands take over?
Yeah, the idea was that the area within the riverfront, or the area within the riverfront along the whole back of the property would be maintained, just mowed a couple times a year. I think that was similar to what was on the
other
lot 4.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that was the idea, was to have it be similar to that.
okay.
But there's no markings along the 100-foot buffer? There's no proposed markings to mark that?
No, they are not shown on the plan. That may have just been an oversight, but we can certainly revise the plan to include posts.
We should.
Yeah, yeah, we want post all along there with our little
So
sign
you
on it.
Yes.
put in a revised plan to that.
Yeah, I also have one question too, regarding how the pool is to be fenced in. Is the fence just to be directly around the patio area, or is it, 5 feet offset? What's the, just something to think about with the
Yes.
revised plan, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Because I know the building commissioner is going to, at some point, ask about fencing, and I try to get ahead of that and not
Yeah, I
have
can
to.
discuss that with Peter and figure out exactly where he
I'm
would
sure,
want
I'm
that
sure
to
there's
be.
an answer
Yes.
for the revised plan.
Any other questions from the commission? Questions from the audience?
Big house.
Come on up to the mic.
I have a couple.
Yep.
Joe Vizella, 9 Douglas Road. So just want to make sure I understand it. So there's no building that actually happened within the RFA. This is purely just to remove what's there and to have grass grown back in.
That's correct.
Correct.
How close would the pool and the pool house be to the RFA line?
It is pretty close. I think it's a couple feet off the line.
Okay, and will it have plumbing in that house? Is it, do you know what exactly is gonna go in the pool house? And my concern is, to have storage that close to the RFA.
I don't think that at this time we don't have like any architectural plans for the cabana, and I assume if there was to be plumbing, that it would be connected to the septic system.
There's no plumbing indicated anywhere.
There's no plumbing on these plans, so.
Okay, so we can assume that that's not,
Correct.
Unless we-
Yeah.
unless
That
we
would
see otherwise.
require an amendment.
There's no electrical,
Well,
no plumbing. no-
Actually, not because it's outside our jurisdiction.
Right, it's, it'd be something, a minor modification or amendment of
Yeah.
the,
so they,
depending upon the scope of what they're proposing.
so they wouldn't have to come back here to tell conservation that they're going to put storage lines near the RFA?
They might.
Well, if they're
No.
outside the
They're
RFA,
outside the
that's
buffer.
fine.
Okay.
But they're gonna have to go to the Board of Health, and they have to go to the building inspector.
Got it,
Okay.
okay. And then the grass that you're gonna grow in, you'll cut, a few times a year, is that gonna be fertilized?
No. We
Okay,
won't-
it
we
can't
won't-
be
we-
fertilized.
We won't let it,
Okay.
whatever, yep, okay.
That's all I
I
have.
wouldn't expect it to be.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, seeing none, we'll continue this to our next meeting, which is
June 22nd.
June 22nd. Have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Eric?
All's in favor, yes. Eric, yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on to our 7:35, which is a public hearing for Latour, 10 Lowell Road. This is another argument.
Under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Westford's non-zoning wetlands bylaw, Chapter 171, the Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, at 7:35 PM in Meeting Room 201 at Town Hall, 55 Main Street, to consider the request for determination of applicability application for Gail Latour for after-the-fact amendment of an existing failing septic system and installation of a new septic tank and leach field and associated plumbing and grading within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands at 10 Lowell Road.
Jeff?
Good evening. Jeff Hannaford, representing the applicant at 10 Lowell Road. This was discussed at previous meeting. I think it was the first one in May. I can go over it again if you'd like. I think everybody was here, but I don't recall exactly.
I think
here.
everyone, you weren't here, Noel?
May
Were you on
25th?
the phone?
I was on the phone.
Yeah, you were on
Yes.
the phone. So
Yeah.
I think everybody was here
Yeah.
on this, about his mistake.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's fine. We've all been informed of it, so we're good with this. So you guys have any questions on this? It's an after-the-fact filing.
No.
No? Eric, you've had any questions?
No, I'm good.
You're good with this. Any questions from the audience on this filing? Okay, seeing none, can we issue a, I guess it's not, can we issue a negative determination?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Getting to be our septic guy. You're getting to be our septic guy.
Okay, we're moving on to our,
Enjoy your newfound time off.
yeah, thank you, Jeff, appreciate it. Yep. Moving on to our 7:40, which is a continuation of public hearing for Franklin, 31 Bridge Street. Chris isn't here. Have you heard from him?
I had not heard from him. I will follow up. I will get something for the commission's next meeting.
This is like the dam.
No, don't jinx me like that,
Don't
please.
jinx him. Okay, so we need to continue this then.
June 22nd.
June 22nd. Motion to continue to June 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Grudgingly, yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ian?
Don't
Yes.
like that.
Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Great, thank you. Okay, we're moving on to our next agenda item, which is a continuation of public hearing and issue order of conditions, 110 Place LLC, Littleton right-of-way between Catmac Road and 19 Littleton Road, 3341801.
So, the applicant was provided the draft, special conditions as was the commission. The project engineer had a couple tweaking of words in the findings, primarily scouring instead of souring and sidewalk instead of path. That was a new one. And also on the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth finding on page 10B, they wanted, the finding states that the project is located within Zone X of minimal flood hazard. There is a small area within the 199-foot contour within Zone A, but it is a cut within that contour as opposed to a fill. So it's meets the performance standards for bordering land subject to flooding, and I was going to wordsmith some finding about the 2 square feet of, or the 2 cubic feet of cut in that area.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Any other comments from the commission on this? Okay, seeing none, let's have a motion to approve the order of conditions.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ian?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
Peter, yes. Great. Those going. Okay, next agenda item. Spalding Hill Estates, 3341710, review baseline groundwater and surface water quality program proposal.
Start
Welcome up.
with. Yeah, I was gonna. So the developer provided the attached baseline groundwater and surface water quality monitoring program proposal, and this was largely an order of a process thing where wanted to get the commission's thoughts on the proposal before initiating the development of the baseline plan. The baseline plan, there are components of the baseline plan included in the proposal. I provided the special condition, the whole page plus special condition number 44 with which this is referencing. My only 2 comments in reviewing it would be the addition of analyzing for total phosphorus. That was one parameter that was omitted, and instead of proposing 2 water sampling events, sampling it 3 times during the baseline plan. So there's actually a trend line that can be attributed as opposed to just 2 points in time.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And if
I agree.
one question I had for the commission was whether this could be done as the property is being cleared, as this was largely related to the addition of the septic systems up on that parcel. Wanted to get clarification, just
What, that up over the hill on the slope down towards the other homes, you mean?
yes. So the question was, baseline, baseline.
Yeah, what are we gonna look at
What
compared to?
what baseline are we measuring? For? Is it for the septic system? And again, this was another one of those historical projects that took a couple years to actually get approved. So, and I wasn't around for a good chunk of it, so want to get the commission's thoughts, and that's why Mark is here as well, as to, is it baseline prior to the installation of any septic systems, or is it prior to, any development of the site at all?
Can I add something too?
Go for it.
Yeah.
It was also to monitor the effectiveness of the stormwater management systems as well. And since there's not gonna be any stormwater management systems in place right away, i.e. road drainage and whatnot, clearing the trees and starting that work really isn't gonna have any effect at all on the groundwater. Minimal effect on the surface water, as far as turbidity goes and things like that. And I would think that if we cleared the trees and started work, we could also get this plan implemented and get a first round of sampling done, concurrently with, any other excavation. We are supposed to have a pre-construction meeting, but we've been trying to schedule it for about a week and a half now, so that's not gonna happen for another, I would guess, at least another week. But the tree clearing, it's tough to schedule contractors and tree clearers right now. So if we lose the tree clearer, that could push us out another month or so. But we would just like to be able to clear the trees before we actually implement this.
You don't have a problem with those other two changes we wanted to make?
No, the additional sampling
Yep.
and the total phosphorus.
Yep.
In fact, I would actually add around the surface water sampling at the wetland, at the base of the hill, right next to Dunstable Road.
Okay, yeah.
The one at the
That
outfall?
would be a good intermediate location,
Right.
because sampling in along Saltful Pond, there's a lot of other contributing factors
Right.
between the development. and
Okay,
the lake.
so we'll add that
You
in.
want to be uphill from the road, though?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a small wetland that normally contains water. I'm not sure if it's a vernal pool, I don't think it is. But it does collect roadway drainage from Dunstable Road, but it's also down gradient from our site, immediately down gradient from our site, so I think that might be also a good.
'Cause, I mean, you're gonna collect things like the coliform bacteria, that's gonna come off the road, in the surface water. Is there a place where you can go uphill?
We could do it on the uphill side of that wetland.
I think that'd be the
And I
best.
think there's also a proposal to put some well points in that, so we're sampling the groundwater and the surface water, which in that particular case is gonna be pretty much the same, although surface water is gonna have a little bit more of a immediate impact.
I just don't want you to get tagged with runoff from the road, corrupting the waters off of the side of the road.
Yeah, I think that's why it'll be a good idea to have some baseline information for what's coming off of the road.
But that's not what we want to measure. The road isn't something you guys are modifying. It's the project uphill. So I think what we want to do is go slightly uphill, up gradient from the road towards your project. And any surface water in that area? Or is it all downhill
It's
from the
all
road?
downhill.
Then I don't think that's going to do much good then.
Right, I don't think, similarly with,
Testing road
sampling
runoff.
along Saltful Pond or Keys Pond, I mean,
There's a mixture of all different things together.
right. But I guess having a baseline, I think it's good information to have.
To protect you, it protects you if the baseline shows that the water quality running off the road is corrupted. And then in 5 years, someone says, they're ruining the water, test it. And it's test the same as it did 5 years ago running off the road.
Right.
But it doesn't help us at all trying to keep the groundwater clean from all the septic systems up there.
No, but it's a good indication if somebody else's septic system has failed, it's closer to the lake too.
Before you start.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments on this? Eric?
So, to me, a baseline is a baseline. If you're taking a groundwater sample or a surface water sample, and it's meant to be a baseline, it's meant to be taken before work starts. Because anytime you do any type of work, you could potentially impact the ground or surface water. And that's kind of the reason for establishing a baseline. So it sounded like they want to do some clearing activities, tree clearing activities, before they took the groundwater and surface water samples. And, to me, that's just, having effect on the baseline sample.
We can implement this plan as soon as the commission says yay or nay. So we could, if the commission is okay with this plan, I can give Jay Billings a call or an email
Get a baseline.
tomorrow, and he can get out there, hopefully next week or something, and start collecting samples.
Okay,
Well, that works.
that works.
Yeah, I just want it to be a true baseline.
Yep,
Okay.
good idea.
Okay, so I guess we're all set to,
The commission could vote there. This is one of the ones that explicitly states that shall be submitted to the, submitted.
I'm gonna ask you. So can I have a motion to approve this as we've amended it?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. So we're good.
Okay?
Thanks, Mike.
So just for clarification, I know Eric's concerned. Will we be able to clear some trees shortly after we?
If you have a baseline.
As long as you've taken the baseline sample, we don't need to see the results yet, but we want to make sure the sample's taken.
Okay.
Yep, sound good?
All right.
Great.
Very good. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, last agenda item is commission reorganization.
We're going to say goodbye to you.
We don't have minutes?
Do we really need to do that tonight, Peter?
You don't, but the problem is, who, are you going to take over as acting chair at the next meeting?
Well, I think we need to discuss, he can do that, but we also need to discuss
Well, and
a vote.
what about, Eric, will you be able to come to town meeting on Saturday?
Oh, yeah.
I'm really hoping to. That is I won't be 100% by any means, but I'm going to try my darndest to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we could do that. As long as we have a vote this month, because technically Peter's chair through the month, according to Jody.
It's Jody, is that right?
Well, they weren't saying goodbye to you yet, so.
I know that.
No,
Okay, yeah, well, you can discuss it at the next meeting.
can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll have it up for a vote next
Okay.
meeting as well.
So we're all set. So if Eric, for some reason, can't make it at town meeting,
I will be at town meeting.
you'll be at town meeting? Okay.
And I also went to,
I'll be at
Margaret will be
town.
there.
I also went to the league night. Thank God I didn't have to say anything.
There's 2 articles in which we're involved in.
Right.
And nothing.
When is the
And nothing. If
CPA?
anybody stands up and makes this 5 o'clock.
And what's our vote on those?
Oh, yeah, let's
Just-
get
that was
our
my-
position.
I said,
Okay, I just thought you were talking about.
No, just let me finish for a
I
second.
am, I will, I will.
We want to get to the trees.
We're probably not gonna meet at the site because we're gonna be all outdoors and all scattered all over the place. So we could probably have a vote today on those 2 items.
Take the position.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's just the CPA, which
CPA and
which is
the,
kind of already approved,
Hill
because
Orchard.
you guys approved
right, and
submitting it.
and the Hill Orchard,
And it's really
5 years.
Hill Orchard, right.
I thought we approved it at this table, did we not? I mean, the CPA is obviously approved by everybody at this table.
Right, but the other one isn't. We talked
Okay.
about submitting it, but, so can I have a motion to, that we
I move
support the,
I move we support both the CPA funding for the conservation land purchases and the extension of this the Hill Orchard to 5 years.
I'll second that.
all in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Okay, I think that's it. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Did we not do minutes for last?
There are no minutes.
They,
Oh, there we
they-
There's
yeah, they were
nothing here.
They weren't
Okay.
ready. They're
I
slipping.
move we adjourn.
Yep.
And we have food at the table.
Look who's here.
So motion,
Chris?
Well, look who's here.
I'm sorry.
Just in time.
They
We're
opened
about
my
to
pool
adjourn.
Came
yesterday.
for the refreshments.
And I was way up in north in New Hampshire, so I rushed.
Okay, that's all
Okay,
right.
at least you came.
So come on up. Hey, so do you have anything new for us?
No,
Nothing?
working on it. I think I've got a contract with, I haven't signed it yet, though.
Okay.
So hopefully later this week we'll have it. Chris Franklin, 31 Bridge Street. Hopefully have it signed later this week.
Okay, so we've got you on in 2 weeks, so hopefully
Okay.
you'll come and you'll tell us who's gonna do the work.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, that's good.
That's it. We're good with you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Would you like a drink or something
Yeah,
before you
yeah,
leave?
Have a drink.
Have a something.
It's Peter's last meeting.
Oh, Peter, well,
Peter is retiring from
it's only been 30 years. Right? No,
22.
Like it.
22.
22.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
I
get it
know,
right.
because I've owned Bridge Street for 25 years.
25.
It seems like every time I had to come in with Bill, it'd be like, you know, some of the faces seem really familiar.
Yeah.
Well, Peter and I have been on for 22 years, so
Yeah, well,
we've seen
Okay.
you, we've seen you.
Thank you, Chris.
congratulations on your retirement.
Yep, thank you. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Eric?
Yes.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Noel?
Yes.
Ian? Margaret?
Yes.
And Peter, yes. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.